Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you? I pray that all is well with you, and I pray that you are having an awesome day. I hope that you were productive today. It is my prayer that you were the answer to somebody's problem today, that you were the solution to somebody's issue, and that you were the answer to somebody's prayer, really, today. It is my prayer that you had an amazing day, fruitful day, productive day. Did y'all have one? Y'all let me know. All right. So what's up? Y'all know it's Dr. Chris. You know, we are on here Thursday. Kind of at the usual time. But Thursday, listen, I am excited about tonight. Listen, as I always say, if you would tag some folk, subscribe, what else am I supposed to say? Subscribe, tag, share, like, give me those hearts, give me them likes, give me them flurries. I want you to do this a whole bunch of times. All right. So do that. Let them know that AC is going to have a special guest tonight. Y'all probably saw it from the lead in. One of my good friends, my sister. It's going to be bananas tonight. So I want y'all to definitely join us tonight. There we go. I had to post it somewhere myself. So share this, tag some folk, let them know that we live. Let's get it. All right. So if y'all have not registered yet for Trailblazers, you need to register. You need to register for Trailblazers. Right here. Y'all see it? It's right here. Make sure you register for Trailblazers, the global gathering. It's next month. Do not miss it. Go to kingdomlifetrailblazers.com and get your registration on. Okay. Bring your friends, bring your kids, bring your teenagers, bring everybody. It's going to be amazing. Invite Lottie Dottie and everybody. All right. Cool beans. Listen, I've got a special guest. She is one of our empowerment specialists tonight. She is a staple in the Trailblazers fam and the Trailblazers movement. You can't have Trailblazers without the one, the only. I'm not going to give her a long history because everybody know who she is. The midwife. Rekesha. And she's here, the midwife, Pimment. She's here tonight. We're going to have a good dialogue. I don't want y'all to miss it. So my sister, my friend, everybody's auntie, listen, how are you doing?
I feel fantastic and I cannot wait for this summer. I am ready for the bounce back.
Come on here, the bounce back. Listen, you have been a part of Trailblazers since ever. Okay. Since forever. Hey, Pastor Deshaun. Hey, y'all. What's up? So you've been a part of it. You have seen the growing pains. You have been a part of all of it. You have been one of the ones, a trusted voice, to where you will pull me to the side and be like, all right, bro, now let's make sure we do it like this. Make sure we do. So much of what as a matter of fact, for those of you who did not know, outside of God himself, Trailblazers has its brand because of this one here. So the encounter, the Trailblazers used to be called the Encounter. But anybody who knows the midwife knows that she's always going to see what's next for you. She's always going to see where you're going. And so she was like, bro, you're kind of shifting, you're kind of moving, you're growing, you're not, this ain't that. You know what it is. And so at that moment, I was writing a book called Birth of a Trailblazers. I was doing a whole bunch of things. And so Trailblazers was a class that I was teaching. So through conversation, she was like, Trailblazers is it. This is what it is. And really and truly, that's what it is. So listen, If y'all don't know who the midwife is, you're gonna know on tonight. All right. She is going to be one of our empowerment specialists and panelists at the at Trailblazers, July the 26th through the 29th is the conference. And so she's going to be there. You can't have Trailblazers without the midwife. It's just not the same without her. So she got to be there. All right. So sis,
Yeah.
listen, you gonna be tell everybody what you're gonna be talking about and everything like that at Trailblazers.
Hey, I am ready. You know, for a season, we were kind of not together.
Right.
And when we did come together, we were looking around like, are we supposed to be together? So I am excited. And
Right.
it is funny. I've been on this particular panel or similar to it before, but the panel is dealing with branding and your image and success strategies. And there are strategies. And even though we love Jesus, there is a way to present yourself in the marketplace, and we have to be wise about how we do that. And copying someone else is not the way. You do have to seek him for what is your blueprint, what's your model, what is your strategy. It is biblical. I always say beauty is a strategy. So if God gave you that, he gave you that for a reason. If he gave you brilliance and intelligence, he gave you that for a reason. So play up what God has given you, and that is a part of your unique brand. You know, I always say a brand is what is emblazoned in the minds of people after they encounter you, when they encounter you, and far after that. So it is the impression that you leave. So myself, along with the panel of experts, will get you together. And what worked last season may not work for this season. So just because you think, I've got it, maybe that grace has run out in that area and you need a new grace for a new thing that you're going to do. So make sure that your ears are wide open, and you may hear something that will ignite you to be able to make those shifts as appropriate so that your fire does not go out. So that's the first thing. And then I'm going to talk about Blaze and the bounce back. And y'all, I have a story. I tell you, but you know what? There's some testimonies I didn't want. I didn't want the testimony that I have, but I have it. So I am back. I am ready. I am on fire. If you have been seeing me and hearing me lately, yes, she's back. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that and some strategies for not only recovery, but renewal, revival, and resource when you decide to go on and stand on back up after you've had a season of a few ashes. There is beauty after that.
Come on. Listen, she back, y'all. She back out here. She back outside, and in a good way.
She outside.
Right. She out here. Listen, it's good. And one thing I've always learned and I've known, that I've learned, I shouldn't say that I've always learned, but one thing that I have discovered and learned, look, they like, welcome back.
I can't wait to see y'all, for real.
Listen. So I've learned that sometimes the greatest things is born in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't really have anything great. If anything is going to be alive, well, lively, such the like, it has to go through darkness. It's got to go through some form of ashy thing. And you cannot die in the dark. Nor can you be afraid of the dark.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so you have got to be willing to bounce back, come out emerging from that bigger, better, more vibrant, and everything like that, and not dwelling on what you went through, but using it to thrust you into your future. That makes sense?
It does. And I want to encourage you too, because sometimes you think you're ready to move, but I want to remind you all that you have to move after you've heard a word. And I teach and I speak on movement, and I've done that for many years. And it was when God told me stand up that I was truly able to do it without falling back down or without, you know how if you've ever been in recovery or hospitalized, you tried to get up a few times and it's not always successful. But once you have the right level of strength, not only can you stand up, but you can walk, right? And then you kind of get back to that pace that you used to be. So when I heard the word stand up, and I shared this with you, you know, when I heard the word stand up, I was like, oh, now it's time to make a move, because I tried a few times. Like, I'm ready. I'm back. I'm ready. I'm back. But I did not hear a confirming word. And once I heard that confirming word, I could go freely with grace, because I knew that I wouldn't be relying totally on my own strength.
Come on here. That's good to me. That's good to me, because a lot of people will come up out of that place too early. We ain't trying to teach your class. Y'all got to come to Trailblazers.
Yes,
but some people will literally come out of that season, that percolating incubation type of season, and they're misinterpreting it as, oh, this is the devil attacking me. No, you're rebirthing. There's a new birth that is happening. You're being reborn again. And there's so many people who will come out of that season without a word from the Lord.
Yes.
God didn't tell you to get up from there yet. Lay down now. Stay down now. Joe, listen, what if what was his name? Coat of Many Colors. Joseph. If Joseph would have, Lord.
You got to wear the colors, you know.
Listen, right. If Joseph would have climbed up out of that pit, we would not have the stories that we have now.
Come on now.
If he would have broke out of jail, we would not have the stories that we have now. So sometimes you have to sit and wait to be brought out of the pit, taken out of prison, and all of that. You got to have a word. And when you have that word from the Lord, you done stirred me up, sis. This is what happens. When you have a word from the Lord, then you can get up and, as she said, with confidence and with a surety do it. If you are not confident coming out of that pit, you probably went without a word.
Yes, and some people will prematurely try to convince you to come out. And that's another thing too, people, because when people want what you have, remember when Dorcas died? Hey, get her up. But she didn't get up until she got a word. Now, okay. But they were like, look at what she did. They start showing what she did. We need her. We need her back. Look at what she did. You got to get up. And when she heard, come on. Then she was able to get up. She moved after she heard the word. But yes, people will miss you what you're doing, but you can only move after you've gotten the word, because that you can come back in full force and not just keep coming and going. And we see people do that. And they try, and you see a little light or a blip on the screen, and then they go back away. And you're like, what happened?
Right. And this is what I can say, and this is indicative of our relationship. Because me and Rekesha, we like this. Okay. Right. So like this is my sister for real. And we have an amazing, amazing friendship, relationship. It's great. We can talk to each other about anything and know that it's going to be right here and stay right here. And all of that. Why am I saying that? Because you need friends, as she just said, that's going to, no matter how prophetic they are, how apostolic they are, how spiritual they are, you're going to have friends that's going to be able to discern your timing. And even if you're in the pit, they're not going to be like, come on up out of there in the name of the Lord Jesus. No, she'll tell you, there'll be times I'll just call her like, how you doing, sis?
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm making it. I'm here. And I'm like, all right, I'm just checking on you. The Spirit of the Lord says that none of that. I recognize where we're at, and we're not going to try to over spiritualize this thing. I'm not going to try to prophesy you up out of here. I'll pray for you that you will be sustained in the process. because I still know what God said. That's not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
But all of this process, you're going to have friends and people that are around you that are not going to get you out of your pit before your time.
But after I got the word, you got a word. So after God said stand up, then he called me and said, God said somewhere around March, and I hollered because I had already heard. See, so he didn't hear until I had heard.
Right. Come on. Say that again, because the saints missed it.
He didn't hear until I had heard. So when he said it, I laughed because I already got the confirmation and I was able to tell him what I had heard. I'm not saying this is the way it's going to work for you, but I'm saying that I didn't get a premature pressure, right? From something that I already didn't know, like, it's like, okay, he said it and God has spoken once, twice have I heard this type thing. He said it. And that time was the time of a shift in a new season. And I did not have the weight and the pressures. I got a new level of freedom and everything worked out. And it was right around that time. It was that time.
Come on here. Absolutely. You got to understand you got to be careful about who's around you in that season. As she said, I wasn't calling trying to make up nothing either. I was calling just to check on my friend. But after she got her word, then the Lord showed me a vision. And I was like, sis, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm hearing. I didn't know that she had that encounter with God. I didn't know she heard that. But after she heard the word, then I heard the word. And I prophesied to my sis all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, when it's there, you got to know how to just walk with them. You don't need to always just, anyways.
Because some of those friends didn't know how to be quiet.
She just said something. Huh?
That was a prophetic pause.
That was a prophetic pause. Because some of them didn't know how to keep their mouth shut. Keep it quiet. Huh?
Sometimes you just sit there.
Huh? You just sit there. And then when people ask you about your friend, you just need to be like, oh, they good. They listen, we all right. They good. And stop being like, well, you need to pray. Well,
or look at what's going on. You don't know what God is doing.
You don't know what is happening.
You know what happened. No, you don't.
Just ignorant. You just all the way. Okay, sorry. We getting into bro and sis talk. Sorry. We about to get in trouble. Right. Well, so, okay. So y'all heard what she's going to be talking about. We're going to kind of circle back into it. But she's going to be here with us at Trailblazers next month. And I can't wait. And those that have been to Trailblazers before, that's been with the years and years, I know that they are excited. I can't tell you how many people message me like, the midwife is back.
Like, be careful what you ask for, because I'm gonna come in like, now what did you
do? Right. Y'all know she gonna be like, now what you do since the last time we talked?
You already know. This is the last time we talked.
What you done did?
Fruit, please.
Right. Fruit. Fruit. Show me the fruit. Yeah. So good evening, Vanessa. So that's how it is. So Trailblazers. I could talk about Trailblazers all day long, right? I like to say it's a Kingdom Life event, but I'm the face of it and all of that, and we're hosting it. But in your words, tell everybody, because they can hear from me. Y'all about to hear from Rekesha. Y'all know she keep it 100 the whole time. Y'all tell everybody, describe Trailblazers to the folk, to the saints.
Y'all want me talking because I'm like, in the words of Janet Jackson, we go deep and we don't get no sleep. Don't ask me the truth if you don't want it. So
Listen, I'm with it.
Make sure you bring your vitamins and you eat good, because I mean it really is one of those things where that fire just don't, it does not go out. So we have a good time. I
Mhm.
will say that all of the instructors that I know, we are like family. We
Yeah.
love you. We are really there to empower you and to impart into you and tell you the truth. And we just genuinely love people. So you're going to feel that. You're going to get the real. You're going to feel love. You're going to have freedom. You may experience some things that you don't get to do at your local place of worship or assembly. Usually you'll hear some type of confirming or prophetic word. You're going to get some good word. You're going to get some good worship. You might take a nap in public.
Right.
So we just get ready, but we already know. Don't watch no clock. You know, just be ready. Just be ready.
Listen, it's an experience.
Oh yes, it is.
It-
I know that tickle, but that was just my real. That was just me being real.
I love it. I love it. Look, even said those naps are holy and anointed.
Yes, they are, and blankets are provided. Yes.
Blankets are provided.
Oh,
Listen, no, you remember, I ain't gonna say who, but remember when somebody was slain in the spirit and went to sleep for real?
like okay.
Go get this person
He
up.
gives his beloved sleep.
Sweet sleep.
It's in public. Okay. Shoot.
Woman of God had a whole nap before Jesus. You hear me? Oh. So, but yeah, as she said, it's free. Freedom. We don't, I mean, we have order. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. There is an order. And Auntie Rekesha.
Don't look at my face. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Oh, don't look at my face. Just don't look at my face. I'm gonna just look forward.
Right. Because her face will be like, now y'all know. This is not okay.
Right, right. And Dr. Chris is more graceful. I mean, and I'm nice. Trust me, God has worked on me, but he is way more graceful than I am. So just when he is training you, he is training you with a grace, and you need to appreciate that.
Yeah. So, because leave it up to her, she'd be like,
Sit down.
you, the seat, now, out the door. Yeah. So, uh, absolutely, we are on God's agenda. He wrecks our agenda every year. So we always just create a skeleton. What we have done, we started it last year, we're going to continue it this year, is instead of having simultaneous breakouts, except for the movement arts, there will be a simultaneous breakout for dance and mime and flag and all of that great stuff at one point. But for the majority of the conference, it won't be you got to pick what class you want to go to. Everyone will be able to have all the classes because we'll all be in one room. Everyone seemed to love that because they were like, oh, that's great, because I really want to go over here, but then I wanted to be in this class. So you're not going to have to pick and choose. You'll be able to be in all of them. So look, I really like that. Yeah. So we started it last year. Even the teachers um, loved it because they felt like they weren't worked as hard. So because Rekesha will tell you, I will work my empowerment specialist like a Hebrew slave. I will. But I heard their cry, like I heard the cries of the people. I said, all right, let's try to come up with a strategy. And so we're going to do that. It's going to be amazing. Pastor, Doctor, Apostle, Prophet, Pastor, Evangelist, Midwife, Rekesha. What would you say um to the person, because I get this a lot, right? And I really want to get, the empowerment specialist to really help the people in this sense, because there's a lot of people who go, oh my God, here's one of them: I can't afford to come to Trailblazers.
Mhm.
Or, oh my God, I barely know who's going to be teaching. Like, I don't know everybody on the flyer. What do you say to people like that? And then there's another group of people that I will want you to say something to as well.
Mhm. If you're saying you don't have the money, that's one of two things. Either you're just making an excuse and you don't really want to go, or you haven't reached the point where you actually believe the word, right?
Ooh.
One, are you, if it is your heart's desire truly, there will be a way made. The word says you have not because you ask not. And it also says, according to your faith, right? Be it unto you. So if you really, really have a desire, I'm going to say this all day long. Ask. One, ask the Lord. Ask him to provide for you. And sometimes he'll just stir up people to say, hey, God dropped it on me to bless you or whatever, right? And secondly, say, hey, this is really a desire that I have. I want to go, and you will be positioned. But don't try to wait till 24 hours before, even though it's possible. Don't try to wait till the midnight hour to make it happen. You have time now. Plane tickets been the same. And you don't have to take a plane. Maybe a train gets there. Maybe an automobile gets there. There is a way. What is that adage? If there's a will, there's a way. Well, if there's a will in your heart, God already knows what your desire is. So one, you need to get around people who accomplish things, because that will change your mindset. If you want something, get with the person who has succeeded in doing that thing. If not, everybody around you is probably speaking the same language, which is why you don't have the money. And if you don't have the money every year, you definitely need to make a change. Okay.
Come on.
All right. And your second question, because I'll be like, stop it with the excuses, right? It really is what you believe. And the people you don't know, if you don't know them, you know people by the Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best conferences I've gone to, I hadn't heard them before, blew my mind. And sometimes we are celebrity seeking. We only want to go. Why? Because you're going to hear the same thing that they have said. I'm sorry, I'm being a little too real.
No, you can be as real as you want. Go.
I stood in line to see people that I thought were amazing, and I'm like, "But you preached that on TBN." But I already heard this before, and it wasn't anything fresh. And this is not shade. I've also seen people bring in certain celebrities, and they did not have a word for us. They had a photo opportunity, but they did not have a word for us. And it didn't mean they cannot preach. It didn't mean that they did not have something for us. Some of my most amazing prophetic experiences and situations came from people I did not know, and I knew it could only be God. Honestly. It was like, I'm not, because sometimes when you get into the celebrity atmosphere, then we start to feel a little high ranking. If, such and such prophesied to me, I must be God's elect or God's chosen. And we start to think of ourselves a little more highly than we ought in some of those situations. And it's not bad. We do want people who are tested and tried and true, right? But sometimes God really does know our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes our hearts are not in the right place. So we're feeling like we need an endorsement from somebody other than God, when the truth of the matter is God will use whosoever he wants, and it'll be just what you need at that season, be accurate, on time, and be what you needed, when the celebrity person didn't necessarily have that for you, but they drew you to the place.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. That's so good. And not only that, but when it comes to not knowing the people, as she said, some of the most potent prophetic words, some of the most potent sermonic words and experiences from God came from people I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
People I had never heard of a day in my life. You see what I'm saying? Many of y'all never heard of an AC, a Dr. Chris, an Apostle Chris, Prophet Chris. You know what I'm saying? Many of y'all never even heard of that. Many of y'all only knew me to mime until I opened my mouth, and y'all like, what? You know what I'm saying? That's what will happen. We got to get out of that celebrity type of mentality. And I purposefully, there's more people that aren't on like mainstream that come to Trailblazers than the mainstream speakers. And I do that purposefully because the truth of the matter is, and this is no shade to anybody, the truth of the matter is most of the ministry happens in the pew.
True. Most of my most life-changing moments came away from the microphone.
Come on.
Someone sitting next to me had me on the floor because some of our business does not need to be broadcast, especially when God knows who you are.
Come on.
And the way that people go viral now, you have to be very careful what is said across the microphone. So I thank God that in his mercy, that there was things that I needed that he could only do in the silent part or in the personal part of it that did not have to happen over the pulpit. But because I was in position and in place, God was able to give me exactly what I needed.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And you make a point there because the truth, let me help y'all understand the culture of Trailblazers. I'm gonna say it a little weird, but no one's exempt. Right? God, it's God's conference. So there were times to where somebody will come and whisper a word to me and it would floor me. It would floor Pastor Rekesha. All of these things we would get. And it's like there is no in Trailblazers, we don't do the oh, I'm such and such, stay away from me and don't. That's the quickest way to get you sent home. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that at Trailblazers. And so we've been there, and there was times to where, and it's on YouTube, there was times to where the Lord led everyone to even sow into Rekesha just spontaneously. There was times to where we pray for even the speakers and the empowerment specialists and all of that stuff. It's the culture of everybody is there because we're all trailblazers and we're all moving. And like she said, that fire don't go out. So we go for it. And whoever God wants to speak to or through is who he speaks to or through. You see what I'm saying? And so that's it. What thing people need to come hungry and ready for a word. It doesn't matter what vehicle God uses to deliver it. Right. Get what is for you and don't be concerned about who is saying it. Absolutely. That's it. That's exactly how it is. At Trailblaze, God speaks who you got to come hungry and with a high expectation. If you do that, you know what I'm saying? Because we come in and we want to start at ziggity and see how much higher we can go. And that's what we shoot for. All right, so that's for the people who say that they can't afford it and they don't know the people.
Yeah, you need a mentor. If you're still talking about what you cannot afford in this age, yeah, you need accountability.
That's when you need to come to Trailblazer. You need a one-on-one. You need somebody that's gonna help. Like, yeah. So now the people who you love so dearly, and you are now back into you for a few years now, I would say you back into helping them come back into alignment with the word, the ministers of movement. Because a lot of them will say, well, it's not a dance conference, so I'm not coming to it.
And how did the last 25 dance conferences help you? Man, I have been teaching. I love worship. And I love
Mhm.
the worship arts. And I always say one of the most understudied and underdeveloped area of worship has been movement, because it was never supposed to be fractured away from the music and the singing. They are go together. It's like they were created to function together, and you took a wheel off. Now
Come
the
on.
car may still be able to move, but it's not going to be smooth. You know what I'm saying? So you are part of the worship faction. You are part of that experience. It is not a separate entity. It is an included part of the worship experience. So it doesn't have to be a dance centric event for you to be a part of the worship. It was designed that way, right?
Mhm.
And half the time when we do go to dance only conferences, all they do is dance, and they move without a word. I said that at the beginning. You're moving without a word. There's no order, there's no life in it, because the priority is on movement, because it's something that you want to do. But wanting is not good enough for worship.
Come on.
Get mad. David wanted to do something, but because he didn't seek the Lord, worship stopped. Who's that? I'm just saying, so your desires do not trump your obedience. And it's not a limiting thing. It really is a freeing thing, because then
Mhm.
you are not relying on you. You move when he say move, just like that, right? So you need the word. And once you have a word, all your movement comes together.
Come on.
The word produces the movement. In the
Yes.
beginning was the word. He spoke and boom, things happen. So the more word you have, the more creativity you have, the more genius you have, the more wisdom that you have, the more visions that you have, the more revelation that you have, the more you understand different people types, congregations, cultures, and experiences, so that you're effective wherever you go.
Mhm. Come on. Come on. And that's so real.
It's real, and I'm not being mean, I'm just tired. And some of us are tired because we have been teaching this thing for 25 years and we don't see the progress. It's like a hard hearted people. And now we see regression. We don't see trailblazing in the arts the way we should have seen it. So you let Beyonce become a trailblazer and
Uh-oh.
an innovator. And I'm not praising her. I'm just saying, like, why does she get a download for what she's doing, but we don't? And it's not just about money. It really is about commitment. But some of us think, oh no, it is about commitment. Her heart is wrapped up in that thing. Not a praise, it's just a lesson. Okay. So sometimes our heart is not tied into what we do, and it shows. That's why there's no money ain't showing up. What are you building? For what?
Come
What do
on.
you need the money for? To go where? To do what? And to go say what? Because you ain't got nothing to say when you get there. And I tell people all day, I am not the best dancer, but I got the word. And so God has sent me to many nations because I got something to say when I get there. And even if I don't speak the language, I have enough word in me to translate it through movement where it's still the word.
Come on.
So send you to do what?
Come on. And that's the thing. That's the thing. I had some people, hey Lisa. I had some people who was like, well, it's not a dance conference. I don't know if I want to come to a dance and I'm like, so you'd rather go learn a 5, 6, 7, 8 than get filled with the word, because you learning for 7 minutes. You learning for a 7 minute thing, and your ministry is now limited to 7 minutes. But Trailblazers is here to say, when you take off that paint, when you take off that hanky hem garment, when you put down that flag, there is more for you to do. Not only is there more for you to do, but let's get this word in you so that you're not playing charades and you're actually ministering.
Mm-hmm. Because biblically, the singers had the word, the dancers had the word. I always say dancers are singers and musicians. It lines up with the word, right? So when the dancers were dancing, they sang as they danced. They said things as they danced, which meant that there was something on the inside of them. Now we ain't got nothing on the inside of us, so everything we're externally motivated by everything that happens, and then when all is said and done, we're empty. There's nothing in us because you didn't put nothing in there.
Come on.
And this is not an indictment. This is just a challenge to say, can we stop having unrealistic expectations? You are asking for a withdrawal on something that you never put a deposit in there. Insufficient
funds. NFT.
And so overdraft. Insufficient because people aren't investing in that madness.
No. And honestly, that's what Trailblazers is about. Are there a bunch of dancers? Yes. There's a bunch of dancers that come. There's a bunch of mimes that come. There's a bunch of flag ministers that come. There's a bunch of creatives that come. But it's like, once you get up off this floor, once you take this garment off, let's put something in you. Mm-hmm. Let's get you launched into something else so that, for instance, you can write a book that could possibly sustain your ministry.
You can become entrepreneurial. I always talk about my first wealth mentor. I have a new one. Thank you. But my first wealth mentor shifted my mindset. This is why you have to not just be in the rooms, go to unfamiliar rooms.
Yeah.
Because I have had encounters with people that changed my mind, like they're trailblazers. So my first wealth mentor challenged me when I had a dance company. And basically he said, I want you to reconsider that. He said, because I let my profits fund my passions. We kept hearing just follow your passion and the money will follow. He's like, no. I made profits and I can fund anything that I want. That thing changed my whole mindset. He has millions and millions of dollars. He's like, I can pay for anything or fund anything that I want to, and it doesn't hurt my family. And a lot of times what we do is we are funding our passions and we're hurting our families.
Come on.
Because we're taking from our families. He said, my wife and kids don't go without things because I'm pursuing a passion. Because I'm profitable, I can invest, and if I lose, it doesn't affect them. And it changed my whole mind, because we hear things that sound great because it's easier than really saying, let me delve deep and see what problem I can solve. Because if I can solve enough problems for enough people, prosperity will follow that.
Come on.
I'm not waiting on somebody to drop a bag on me. Prosperity will follow my problem solving abilities. But some of us don't solve problems, we create them.
Chandalo.
And then we wonder why we're not financed and funded. Because you create more problems than you solve. It's not a bad thing. It's a reality that needs to be shifted. And some of us came up in environments that only knew that. That's why I'm saying, get into different rooms. I go to business conferences. I go to technology events. And I'm not even in the tech industry, but the innovative way that they think gives me fuel for my fire.
Come on.
Because I do need to learn how to employ technology in what I do as a business. And that's what we miss. We're so myopic, focusing on things, and then you miss how you can enhance and make what you do easier.
Right.
Find yourself in different rooms. I'm telling you, talk to different people. Don't always sit with your friends. Even at Trailblazers this year, can you not sit with the same people?
Can we not do that?
Talk to somebody. You'll be shocked. Talk to somebody who you haven't spoken to before, and don't just believe everything you've heard about somebody. Find out for yourself.
Can you say that last part?
Don't believe everything that you've heard. Some people are deterring you, not just detouring you, but deterring you from somebody who is your breakthrough and connection, because they don't want to lose you as a source of money. Y'all don't invite me on here if you don't want the truth. Some people want all of your money. So they will hold you in a position and keep you away. And it's not that the other person wants your money, but they will keep you away because they want to keep tapping your bank account.
Come on.
Right? So they'll sow division, discord, disruption, and dysfunction, keeping you from the person God has assigned you to, so that you can multiply, you can grow, you can create more. That's why you have to consider the source. And we're not judging. We are listening, but we're not discerning. right? The word says you shall know a tree by the fruit it bears. So if this person or these people or this group of people has a continuous track record of brokenness and broken covenants and broken promises, what the heck are you doing listening to them? I said a track record, not an incident, a track record. And you are listening to people who are blocking you and blockading you from somebody who is your answer.
Come on.
Be careful. That's why you always have to ask God and watch who has access to the ear of the king.
You done said something right there.
I see it all the time, and I'm like, and you believe them? You believe them because you didn't ask the Spirit. You believe them because you didn't inquire. That's why. Because if you would have asked the Lord, he would have told you they were lying. Or he would have told you it was manipulation. But you didn't. Why? Oh, Lord. And sometimes we don't, because we have a vested wish, hope, and interest that we will get a platform. So some of us entertain dysfunction because you really want a platform and you really want an opportunity from them instead of really wanting the opportunity and the platform from God. And you do see. It's not that you don't see. You do see, but you are waiting your turn. So you want to feel like, oh, let me just get to the graduation when that was not even the school that God enrolled you in. You enrolled yourself.
Huh?
Oh. I'm not telling you like you demand. No, I've done it too. Well, I'm like, now I knew I wasn't supposed to be here, but got to see it through, my boy. No, you don't. You got to see it and then be through.
I think they missed that. They missed that.
See it and then be through.
And so you get, said this live is life. Listen, they like, this is why we missed the midwife. But listen, y'all know she come tell the truth.
Say, don't ask me if you don't want to know. And I say it in love, and I will make you laugh when I say it. But enough is enough. You know, it's that thing where it's like, let's go on and mature now. Let's stop. Let's stop acting like we don't see it. You saw it. There's things I've seen. I saw the red flag. I saw all of it. I saw danger, danger, do not enter, do not enter. I was like, let me see, and got it. Okay. So we do that, but we want to push past. And some of us do that because you've been criticized. You've been told you're too hard. You're not positive enough or whatever. When God really gave you discernment, sometimes you do need to mature that, you know. But sometimes because we've been criticized so hard, you start to believe what people have said and you second guess yourself. And then you go in a situation where you're like, no, I knew I saw that. But you bowed to the pressure of what people said about you. And then you got in there and you messed around and found out.
Exactly.
So now that we do that, we mature and we take our licks and we go on. But we should not find ourselves in repetitive cycles like that.
Come on.
Come on.
That's the thing. That's the thing right there. And that's
or you thought it wasn't going to happen to you. Or like me, sometimes you think, oh, God's going to use me to make a difference.
Listen, I've been there. I was like, he gonna use me. I'm the voice of reason. I'm the voice of truth. You like
praying my little face off. And sometimes God says, stop praying.
Stop praying. Just stop.
Stop. You're trying to change something. The only reason why I'm keeping that thing open is because you're there. I've held whole buildings, companies, organizations together, and as soon as I left, like they went bankrupt, shut down. Sometimes you got to know that you are helping the dysfunction continue.
Come on. Sometimes you got to realize that. You got to realize that, and then you got to, when you notice that you are perpetuating this dysfunction, you have now become a party to it. I just did a Bible study last night talking about the danger of disregard. You're in the danger of disregard. Talking about when Paul was telling them, listen, My issue with y'all is not the fact that y'all eating this meat that was sacrificed to idols. My issue is that y'all sat there and let these Gentiles that still claiming the name of Christ sacrifice. Y'all condoning it. He said you can't eat at the table with devils and at the table of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. And here is a warning. That's the best way I can put it. This new generation ain't having it. Some of us came through where we have all this grace and mercy, and we were taught to be quiet and don't air out our dirty laundry and stuff like that. Listen, some of these people who have been doing this stuff for generations, this new generation is telling.
Yeah.
They're exposing. They got receipts. They got shots, video, audio.
Listen. Hidden cameras.
Yeah, so you might have had grace in that season, but I don't know if we're in the dispensation of grace for what's going on now. So that is my gentle way of saying that some of us, we know we didn't stop some of the madness, but there is a stopper that's there. So if these people don't get it together, it's going to be front page news.
Listen, it is. And we're going to start to see that. We're already seeing it, but it's about to start happening in a greater measure. Because as she said, this generation, they don't care. They don't care.
Receipts.
Listen, receptacles.
I'm sorry, y'all supposed to know we actually fun people.
Yes, we're okay. Okay. So yeah, okay. So let's wrap up here. Because I didn't want to have you on here for more than an hour. I know that y'all done learned so much, heard so much. Y'all should be fired up now. Part of it.
Yeah.
About trailblazers. Tell the people why tell them why they need to be at Trailblazers. Talk a little bit. You could talk about how you're going, what you're going to be teaching, because there's more people that came on. And then just tell them why they need to be at Trailblazers, because they hear it from me all the time, but I just
and it's not about conferences. It really is about positioning. It is about being in a position, in a place to receive what you need. You need a word. And some of us are like, I don't need confirmation. You need confirmation. You absolutely do. It may not come in the way that you expected, but being in the position will allow you to receive exactly what it is that you need. You need relationships. There are going to be some amazing. Listen, even this year, there's some new faces. So it's not just to say, I gotta keep bringing the same people. Sometimes people bring the same people because they know what they're going to get. It's a quality control issue.
It is.
There's some new faces. There are some fresh faces. There's some new fuel that's going to be in the building, and that creates a different type of blaze and fire that's even brighter. So you want to be there. They're excited. They have something in their bellies for you. So make sure. And then there's a greater unity on it this year. Like you said, we're not breaking up. We're coming. We're going to hear the same thing. And when unity is there, it's good. We know there is the blessings right there. Boom. Okay. So we'll be hearing the same thing. We'll say the same thing. We'll agree the same thing. And yes, we're going to Jersey. It's even a new place.
Come on.
It's a new place. And I like going there. I don't know what Jersey likes to keep my banner, so I ain't bringing one this time. I love Jersey, but I don't know what it is. Every time I put a banner, they trying to keep it. But anyway, we are going to Jersey, and we will be there. We cannot wait to love on you, to see you, to fellowship with you. If you want a real answer, you're going to get a real answer, not just something spiritual. You'll get that too, but you'll get something practical that you can use. So there is a balance. There is super and natural.
Come on.
At the same time. So I will be teaching on a panel, making sure that everything that I say is up to date. I stay really current on things. So you might not hear from me what the answer that you'll hear from somebody else, but between all of us, you will get your answer. And then I'm going to teach Blaze and the bounce back, and probably share more than I want to, but also let you know how you can bounce back and go on in God and be not just fine, but better than you were before.
Come on here. That's good. And this year, so it's something special on it, because we got like 1,000 million Brazilian people coming from South Africa.
International.
International waters. I'm like, where are y'all coming from? So God is really bringing, there's something special on this gathering. So it's going to be a bunch of new people that have never been to Trailblazers before, that are going to be there. Some of the people that's just been hanging out with us every year is going to be there. But as she said, even the facilitators and the empowerment specialists and everything. Listen, it's new faces, new spaces, new fuel. Is going to be great. Go to kingdomlifetrailblazers.com. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Go to kingdomlifetrailblazers.com and wow. And register. Get your registration on. I'm giving out discounts, so you can inbox me before you register, and I'll bless you a little piece. I give you a little code just to stick in there. That'll help you a little piece. All right. So go ahead and do that. Like she said, get into unfamiliar spaces. And I intentionally invited some people to make it very unfamiliar, even for people who have been there before. I got my big brother, Michael Drayton, that's coming. And he's the business Caleb. If you could think, you know how out there Caleb is? That's how forward thinking, out of the box Michael Drayton is. I love it. It's great. So amazing. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Listen, thank you so much, Midwife, for joining me tonight on this little chit chat, real talk. It's been real, y'all. It's been a real talk. So I hope y'all been helped. Go register, tell your friends, tell your family. Listen, we taking a road trip. We taking a flight trip. We getting on the train, the bus, or whatever. We all going to Jersey next month. Just tell them. Look, Danielle, like, I love that guy too. You better. It's your husband. Yep. So I love y'all. All right. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the night. Peace out.